Brian, we would like to welcome into the studios Jason Derulo. Good to have you here.
Oh, thanks. It's a pleasure.
On the other side of the planet.
Literally.
I'm glad you're still awake for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because the success that you've had has been global. It's been it just must be amazing from your perspective, watching how the planet has taken to your album.
Yeah.
Over the course of the last 6 months.
Yeah, it's really been exciting. Sometimes I have to take myself out of the picture and kind of, just look at it from a different perspective. Because when you're in it, it's easy to get lost in it. And, it's really, really incredible. It's a dream come true. And, when you've been working towards something for so long and it's been a dream of yours, and to finally see everything come to fruition is really surreal almost.
Well, it is an amazing story, and I guess, how planned was it? I mean, if you were to travel back 2 years, could you have foreseen this part of the success just 2 years down the track?
I've always thought this was my destiny, It was a dream of mine, but I really felt that it was my destiny, and I, never listened to the people who told me that it was impossible. I was the little kid in school, saying that I was gonna be this, I was gonna be this star. I was gonna share my music with the world, and people all over the world were gonna hear my music, So I always believed in myself. So I mean, it's refreshing that everything's is finally coming to fruition.
And you were that little kid in school, literally, weren't you? Was it like 5 years old when you started performing, and 8 years when you wrote your first song?
Absolutely, yep. Yeah, so I mean, it's been a very, very long time. I mean, when I tell people like, "Oh my goodness, it's been such a long road," they're like, "Oh, please, you're only 20." But like when you've been doing something your whole life, it really feels like forever.
Let's talk about that first song, because I believe it's called "Crush on You."
Right.
And here's the album, folks. I showed it to you before. "Crush on You" is not on this record, Jason.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. I mean, I could give you guys a piece now.
Yeah, please do. How'd it go?
24/7 days of the week, my mind is on you and it's getting to me. I've got a crush on you. I've got a crush on you.
Wow, they could have made this record. Jason wrote that song when he was 8 years old, folks, by the way.
Yeah, we probably sounded more like 24/7.
But a lyric like "Crush on You" for an 8-year-old is, what's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, her name was Amy,
yeah.
And I wanted to do something for her to, maybe she'd let me take her out for a bologna sandwich or something if I impressed her enough. So I decided to write her this song, but I never sang it for her.
Where is Amy now? Does she know this story?
I'm sure she probably knows it now. I mean, I've been saying it for a while.
Yeah.
But she's probably married with 3 kids or something.
And if you're not Amy, just give him a call. His number is 1-800-DERULO. Standing by now to take your call.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you've worked with some incredible people in the past too. Lil Wayne was there earlier in the career, wasn't he? And so was Diddy. How'd that come about?
Just writing. I'm a songwriter. I've been writing songs since I was 8, but I got my first professional writing placement when I was 16. So, I've written for, Lil Wayne, Identity King, Cassie, Sean Kingston, co-wrote Replay for IAs, which is another really big song. And, I've been doing a lot of writing for a long time, so that's where that came from.
And I believe you're working with Madonna in the not-too-distant future.
That's actually not true.
No?
I mean, it may happen, but it's not planned yet.
Is she somebody you'd like to work with?
Yes, absolutely. I've been watching her my whole life. My mom was a huge Madonna fan, so I adopted that trait, fairly early on.
So your mother was a fan of pop music then?
She's her musical taste is very interesting. I mean, she likes Madonna, and then she likes Gloria Estefan, and then she likes Michael Bolton. So it's kind of like the kind of pop. I mean, there's a lot of like big singer kind of people that she likes too.
Yeah, but you were getting into like opera in the early days, weren't you?
Yeah, a lot of classical music, jazz music. I got into everything, rock music, jazz music, R&B, hip hop. I mean, electro, everything, literally everything. I mean, a lot of the melodies that you hear on my album are actually country melodies. And it's very interesting. My album is a music lover's album because there's so many different influences on it.
So do you source back to all those different sounds when you put your own music together then?
Yeah, not even intentionally, but it just comes out. It comes pouring out of me. When you're a fan of something, it just automatically just comes pouring out of you.
Let's talk about Beluga Heights. Is that how I pronounce it?
Yeah.
Probably the first of the record labels.
Right.
That very quickly got absorbed into Warner Music, didn't it?
Yeah, Beluga Heights is J.R. Rodham's label, the person who actually produced my whole album and produced, a bunch of other stuff, for everyone. He signed me to his record label, and shortly after that, they did a partnership. Warner Brothers and Beluga Heights did a partnership, so I'm signed to Beluga Heights and Warner Brothers.
Okay, and Cara Diaguardi had something to do with the early days as well, too, didn't she?
Yeah, she actually brought me and JR into Warner Brothers. So, Cara Diaguardi is the VP of A&R on my project and all the projects on Warner Brothers. So, I mean, she's just been tremendous in this whole process. Honestly, she allows me to let my creative vision, come to life. And a lot of times, being a new artist, you have people like pulling the reins, and you're actually a puppet. But on this album, it's a direct representation of who I am. I wrote every song on the album, and with a couple of co-writes. So the album is me. That's why it's titled Jason Derulo.
Yeah. Well, What You Say was the first song that we got to hear from this.
Right.
And there's a bit of Imogen Heap in there as well, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an interesting choice.
Yeah. It's definitely different. No one's ever done anything like that before. But I love just implementing different genres of music together to formulate this new pop sound. So, yeah, it's really, really cool.
Describe the feeling of when you first heard the news that you had the #1 record with that song.
Oh, it was a great feeling, I called my mom, obviously she was the first person I called, and I remember her just screaming for 5 minutes without a breath, and it was exciting because she's excited for me because she's seen all the sacrifices that I made in my life to, get my music to this point. And just so all the glitz, all the glam, all the awards and stuff is cool for me. But the biggest thing for me is when I get the messages from my fans, and they're telling me how much my music affects them. Yeah. Being #1 and selling 5 million singles, all of that stuff is awesome, and I'm so thankful for it. But when I get messages like, I'll get fans saying stuff like, when we listen to your music, we forget my brother's sick, but he's deathly ill. Or it's, your music has brought my marriage back together. Stuff like that is just what does it for me.
It must be amazing that it reaches people at that level all over the planet too.
Absolutely, for you. Yeah. Music is definitely a healer. Music heals the world.
What about the track In My Head? When you finished recording that song, mm-hmm. and you listen to the playback of the finished song for the very first time, mm-hmm. did it just sound like a hit to you then?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought it was good. So I'm only human, and when a song affects me, I think it would affect other people too. I'm not like superhuman or anything, so I can't really know exactly what a hit is. I just have the same feeling other people have.
So when you heard the album from beginning to end, could you sort of determine what the singles should have been?
No, and that was the beauty about this album. We could not decide which single should be, what songs should be a single, and that was the beauty because I wanted to create something where every single song on the album could be a single. And that's why I recorded 300 songs to make the perfect album. I didn't want any album fillers. I didn't want people to have to keep on clicking away to find a good song. Every single one of those songs are special in a different way. And every single one of those songs are a reinvention. There won't be any watered down versions of What You Say, any watered down versions of In My Head, just totally different songs.
That's pretty incredible though, 300 songs that are obviously now in existence. Mm-hmm. Will you have like these albums that will come from those sessions in years to come?
No, I'll just create more music.
So we'll never hear those songs?
Some of them have been leaked and stuff like that, but all 300 of them, no. But some of them may go to other artists. I mean, I do a lot of writing for other people, so just because it didn't work for me doesn't mean it won't work amazingly for somebody else.
Now, tell me a bit about your manager, Frank Harris. And Frank sort of, when he first started working with you, it wasn't musically, was it? It was sport.
Yeah, it was with basketball. He actually played pro basketball. He played in Switzerland and all in a lot of places overseas and stuff. So we met, and he was helping me with my basketball game because I didn't make my team. So I was really determined to make my team. So I was out there practicing, and then just being a cool dude, he was just helping me out with my basketball skills, and I did end up making my team. After his help, and shortly after that, he found out that I could sing. And we started building from there, because he, had a lot of music connections. So, yeah, we've been building since I was 12.
Yeah.
Him and I. Yeah.
And you still get the ball out with him every now and then, going?
Yeah, and still to this day, he still beats me, but
so he does win. That was what I was going to ask.
He's getting kind of old though. His knees are getting a little worn.
Yeah.
So I think
you just stick with it then, yeah.
Absolutely.
I think you give it 5 or 10 years.
5 or 10 years? No, you need 5 or 10 weeks.
Well, you're writing him off already. 5 or 10 weeks. Hear that, Frank? You've got competition.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's not good. Next song I want to talk about is "The Sky's the Limit."
Right.
And another single.
Sky's the Limit won't be the next single. Riding Solo will be the next single, but Sky's the Limit is a really cool song. It has an interpolation from Flashdance in it, which is cool, and a lot of people my age probably won't know what that is, but go look it up. It's awesome. But the track behind the song is an interpolation of Flashdance, but a totally different song on top of it, and it's about being with this special someone, and conquering the world together. Anything is possible when we're together.
Because it reminded me of Flashdance when I heard it, but when I kept going back and listening to it, it's not the Flashdance theme, is it?
No, it's not. No.
It just feels like it.
Yeah, it just has that feeling to it, you know. But it is an interpolation.
So Riding Solo, let's talk about that one then. That's the one you're about to make the video for.
Yeah, Riding Solo is the next single, and actually wrote the treatment to the video, which I'm so excited about, because I was kind of frustrated with my first 2 videos, because I wanted to be the person pulling the strings, and I wanted to get my ideas across, and I wanted to wear what I wanted to wear, but that was not the case in the beginning. But now that I've established myself, I'm able to pull the strings a little more, and it's a really exciting time for me, because I feel like now finally the world will know who I am, and I think things will take off on a different level.
Are you always writing songs?
Yeah, no. I have to be in a creative space. I can't go from an interview, interviewing all day and then go to the studio, because I'm not in a creative space. I have to be, focused on what I'm doing. I can't just jump around like that. Music is really, really important. So, you need all the time, all the energy. Some people, will record stuff on their dictaphones and stuff like that, but not me.
When was the last song that you wrote?
The last song I wrote was Queen of Hearts, which is on the album, which is on the iTunes version of the album. And that's the last song that I wrote and recorded. Wow,
so it's been a while since you've actually, composed something new.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, might have to get to work for the next record then.
Yeah, I come up with concepts all the time though. I have like hundreds and hundreds of concepts all written out. So for me, going into the studio and making a song is really, really something that I happen in like that. I could record 6 songs in one night, because all the concepts already. But I can't write the whole entire song out, because I just like to do it without a pen. Just straight to the microphone and be really conversational, because that's what music should be really conversational.
What about with the touring? You've just done a bit of touring with Lady Gaga, which would have been a bit of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Are you a fan?
I am a fan of Lady Gaga, and people ask me what tour would I want to be on, if I had the chance to be on any tour, and I said Lady Gaga. So I kind of spoke it into existence. It was really cool being on tour with her. She's as awesome off stage as she is on stage. She's a total sweetheart, and I had a lot of fun on the tour. My first tour, so it was a lot of getting acclimated to everything, performing every single night, for thousands and thousands of people. But the fans, they were just ready to party. They were ready to have a good time. So it was a fantastic time.
Who is coming up to tour with?
There's a lot of names being thrown around, but nothing is stuck to the wall yet. I can't really say because it's not solidified. But very, very shortly it'll be.
Yeah. Who are your fans of then?
I like the Black Eyed Peas a lot. I think Lady Gaga's awesome, obviously, and I like Kanye West. I like Taylor Swift. I like Kings of Leon. I like Jay-Z. I like a lot of things. But my biggest influences were, like the big pop icons like Elvis and Madonna and Prince and Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Well, it's good to get you down to this part of the country and probably back down here later in the year.
Yeah.
Jason Derulo, it's been good to have you here at Undercover.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.